Have you ever considered the prospect of a world without enough food? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Today, we're going to delve into the concept of a global food crisis. We live in a world where food is abundant, and yet, paradoxically, not everyone has access to it. This is what we too as food security, or rather the lack thereof. In many regions, people are grappling with food shortages, struggling to meet their basic nutritional needs. Countries like Yemen, South Sudan, and Somalia are already facing a food crisis. It's not a hypothetical situation. It's a reality that millions are living with right now. The scarcity of food, the constant worry of where the next meal will come from, the inability to provide for one's family, these are the harsh realities of a food crisis. Now imagine this crisis escalating on a global follow us for more insightful videos on this topic. But what could possibly lead us to such a dire scenario? Let's delve into the root causes of the impending world food crisis. Firstly, we have climate change. As the Earth's temperature rises, our agricultural systems face daunting challenges. Droughts, floods, and unpredictable weather patterns can decimate crops, leaving us with less food to go around. Next, consider overpopulation. As our global population soars, the demand for food rises. But the land available for agriculture remains finite, creating an imbalance between supply and demand. Thirdly, let's talk about the unequal distribution of resources. Wealthy regions often have more than enough, while impoverished areas struggle to secure the basics. This inequality exacerbates food insecurity on a global scale. Lastly, economic instability can disrupt food production and distribution. Political unrest, trade disputes, and financial crises can all lead to food shortages. These factors, interwoven intricately, can create a ripple effect that exacerbates the food crisis. These factors, left unchecked, can set off a domino effect with far-reaching implications. And what happens when these dominoes start to fall? The world food crisis isn't just about food scarcity, it's a ripple effect that threatens to unsettle our global economy. Let's start with inflation. As food becomes scarce, prices soar. Everything from your morning coffee to your dinner plate becomes more expensive. This price hike is not limited to just the supermarket. It permeates through the entire economy, increasing the cost of living. Next, unemployment. As prices rise, businesses struggle, leading to layoffs and job losses. This in turn triggers an economic recession, a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced. But the repercussions are not just economic, they're social too. Increased poverty and malnutrition become widespread as families struggle to afford even the basics. Civil unrest follows as people fight for resources. In essence, a world food crisis would not just mean less food, it would mean a world in turmoil. But how does this affect you and me? Let's delve into the personal impact of a world food crisis. As the cost of food escalates, our diets would inevitably change. High-priced staples could push us to lesser-known, possibly less nutritious alternatives. Think of replacing your morning bowl of oatmeal with a handful of wild berries. The increased cost of living would be another blow. Imagine spending a significant portion of your income just to put food on the table. The simple joy of a family dinner could turn into a luxury many can't afford. And then there's the psychological impact. Living in a world of food scarcity can breed anxiety and stress. The constant worry about where your next meal will come from, the fear of not being able to provide for your family, these are the harsh realities many could face. In a world food crisis, no one is immune from its effects. So, what have we learned about the world food crisis? We've understood that it's a looming issue, rooted in a complex web of factors. From climate change to population growth, inefficient food production to wastage, these causes are intricately linked and have the potential to snowball into a global catastrophe. This crisis will not only affect our plates, but our pockets too. Economies around the world will reel under the pressure of skyrocketing food prices, leading to an increase in poverty and a decrease in living standards. The domino effect will be felt personally, changing lifestyles as we know them. But it's not all doom and gloom. We have the knowledge and with it the power to act. By addressing these issues head-on, adopting sustainable practices and reducing waste, we can mitigate the impact of this crisis. Awareness is the first step to action, and action is what we need to prevent a world food crisis.